That gives a lot of people hope that perhaps this time around the elections will be very smooth. But we'll go to the, at least as much as time allows us, some of the key components of that election as a result of your planning and what to expect. But there's this statement credited to the chairman of INEC where he says, quote, practically there is an ECOWAS protocol discouraging amendments of the Electoral Act before the election in less than 6 months to an election, and we will have more than 6 months. So is this suggesting that he may not necessarily welcome that amendment if it's not within 6 months?
It does. That's not what he's saying. The chairman is not saying it's not going to obey the law. But don't forget that it's even the chairman of all the election commissions of West Africa. They came up with a standard. Look, if we want to improve on our elections in this sub-region, any amendment that is coming on board must not come later than 6 months to the election. I think that's just good practice. If the laws come in the first instance, the operators may not be familiar with the law. And don't forget that there's a component which we forget too. The adjudicators, the judiciary, they have to be familiar with the laws. Those of us who are going to operate must know the law. So we really want to know the law and then know what the laws are, and then don't forget about voter education. The voters themselves must be.
That's where you
6 months. Yes, I don't believe 6 months is too long a time. That's exactly what it means. It's not talking about Nigeria alone, it's talking about the whole West Africa sub-region.
So would you say that you have enough time now, considering that if this proposal turns into law and then it gets to be amended, would you say that you have enough time, considering what we're faced with now and the election timetable that you have?
My gut feeling tells me that we're running out of time.
Does that mean that you may postpone the election?
I'm telling you, I said it, we assume there is time. There is no time. Because definitely, we are just, how many months away? We are just about a year away from the election now. A year and some days. At least when we count figuratively. For us to tidy this particular law, before it is signed into law, before the ascension by the president, we believe that this could take the next 5 to 6 months, if not more. We were promised that this amendment will be concluded by December 2016, because we really have dialogues with the National Assembly. We were promised that, look, the 2019 electoral act will come up in November or December 2016. Here we are. Tomorrow is 1st of February 2018. We are about 14 months into outside the promise that they even give for this law. So I don't see any sudden miracle that could catapult our hope in 6 months gap that we are talking about. But this is just, it's a very timely advice by the chairman that, look, if you are going to make this law, you have to accelerate it for us to practice it. It is only good that we use 6 months to practice the law, to at least enable people to know the law, and of course bring every major stakeholder. Don't forget that the election is not conducted by just the commission alone. We have a lot of stakeholders. We have international standards that we must really obey. We have the civil society organizations. The security man must know what he has to do at the polling booth or on a given day. So, 6 months, I'm telling you, if there's going to be any amendment to the law, not just the order alone, I've told you there are so many, it should be accelerated and make sure it's done within the 6 months.
Let's even take a look at where we're coming from, what happened previously, and where or what do we expect if and when this amendment is over and done with. So let's take a look at some of those materials in terms of how the elections were conducted previously. So there you go. So this is the calendar of elections in the country from 1999.
Yeah, 99 we had a National Assembly February 20, State Assembly February 20, then went on February 27, governorship February 27th, presidency. So just 1 week apart. That's 99. 2003 we had April, everything in April 1 week apart. 2007 April 1 week apart, except for the National Assembly, about 1 week apart. 2011 1 week apart. 2015 we had like 2 weeks apart.
Thereabout?
No, thereabout, about 2 weeks apart. Now, 2019, we're looking at about 2 weeks apart as well.
So now, does the dates change? Because if they come up with that, we're assuming now, because it's not an amendment yet, it's not concluded.
The proposal.
Yeah, so when they come up with that, putting National Assembly elections first, the dates remain the same, isn't it?
The dates definitely will remain the same.
So it's just the order of the election that will change.
But there's one thing which you are missing. All these are two-tier elections. If the order is changed, we are going to have a three-tier election, which means we'll have election in 1 month with 2 weeks interval. We started with the weekly interval, and we discovered that it's been affecting one election back-to-back on a weekly basis, has not been too elderly and friendly on the electoral process. That was why we opted for the 2-week interval. So here we are going to have a three-tier election, which
How
will
many
be,
weeks interval?
well, that's for a whole month, 2 weeks each, too. Because we can't really leave election for 1 week now. For it to be healthy and then for us to be very stable, we assume that at least there must be 2 weeks interval between
So
two
is that good or
elections.
bad? The interval or the length of time that we'll have elections for?
No, the length will just be for a month.
Because
You can imagine what a month will do to election in the
Mr.
country.
Shelby, you know, the previous elections, you basically worked manually, basically, apart from the electronic accreditation that you did. Now, with the proposals that are coming up, let's just say they go into law, and wouldn't that make it easier to like collate and have the results out early? Wouldn't that help to shorten the time you need to work?
In fact, it's deeper than that. Our reverse logistics are always very enormous.
How do you mean?
The balloting alone is not the only component of election. You talk about materials, you talk about mobilization of your resources, and then of course you talk about your assets too. It's not easy. We're talking of well over 120,000 polling units here, at least in the 37 units. I'm telling you, once we conduct one constituency election, might be even something as small as one state constituency, it takes us for full completion, needs about 5-day window.
Before Ajay comes in, what exactly causes that extension in time or that length of time?
You have to really dismantle the election. You have to do a lot of things according to law. Don't forget that after every election, you have to really seal the ballot box. You have to take it somewhere. And collation. Look at election. When we finish election in some cases by 2 o'clock, now you realize, look, first of all, see what happens. It takes us about 18 hours to even make sure that the results are announced.
Just a minute.
So it's just logistics.
Let's quickly get our jury's comments, because there's some issues that we also need you to clarify before we run out of time.